You're gonna get rowdy tonight. I heard y'all are going honky tonkin. You're going to Ryman tonight? Oh my god, that's awesome.
Who's playing, or are y'all just doing a thing there?
Does anybody have any?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question.
It's a good time for
So we're
questions.
consultants, we get clients and we give them advice and but it's, and obviously you guys are artists, performers, professionals in your own right, and you have your own, status in the business. But it sounds like you guys are also consultants to artists,
Yeah.
songwriters, performers. And how does that work? So, like, are you conflicted out of one if you work for another? How do you interact with, how do they find you, how do you find them? Obviously, personal relationships are a big deal,
Yeah.
and obviously you have a reputation that, oh, these guys can make me a hit. So I'm just curious as to how you sort of run your business of, doing
Yeah, that's a good question. We definitely try to stay creative. So we have teams of people, mainly publishers. That's our main, kind of like a manager. And our publisher is the person that, when we write the songs, like I said, they're the ones that go dig through catalogs and pitch those songs. But it's more than that, like you said, the collaboration. So, right now, Tim McGraw's about to make his next record. So my publisher is strategizing my calendar to make sure that I'm writing with the right people that would help me get a Tim McGraw cut. Or Keith Urban cuts next week, so we've all been focused on that. It's very focused writing. The luxury of us kind of being around for so long is that a lot of the people that we moved to town with are now huge stars. So literally, Blake, Dirk Bentley, Kenny Chesney, all these people we've known since before they even had record deals. So that's really cool is now that these people are kind of where they're at, we're at, we're able to collaborate. But it can be tricky for your first question, sometimes one person might be fighting for a song, really want a song of yours, but you might be a friend of yours, but you really thought maybe you had better odds if this person got, recorded it. So it can get tricky, but that's why we have a publisher, because they're kind of the running things for us and helps us just be creative and pretend like it's not our fault. They take all the bad. Was there another question?
Yeah, I just had a question about sort of the economics of the business. You obviously have written a number of number one songs, and so, I don't know, let's just say theoretically you have a number one hit. Roughly, how does the deal work in terms of what the artist might get versus what the songwriter might get?
Do we have a bottle of whiskey that we can start? It's all different. That's where we're fighting for with this streaming situation. Is the copyright has really messed us up. What's been really interesting is the union and the singers and the companies have all figured out how to make money off of streaming, but the copyrights don't. So Jessi literally sang on a Blake Shelton song. She made more money as the background singer off of royalties than she did as the songwriter. Our main goal right now in Nashville, and the reason that everybody from LA is moving here, is because radio still pays the publisher and the copywriter. Interestingly enough, terrestrial radio does not pay the artist. There's only 4 countries in the world that don't pay the artist, and it's, I think, Iran, China, North Korea. That's a nice company to be in for that. But and that's not a political thing, but that's just kind of where we are with this copyright situation. So we're trying to get the singles. That's where we make the real checks. And because no one's buying records, back in the 90s, man, this town was it was crazy. Everybody was selling million records. If you sold gold, you got dropped from the label. If you only sold 600,000 records, you were gone. If you didn't sell 1 million or 2 million records, so if you had a song just that wasn't even a single, you were seeing some good checks off of that because it just the album sales. But now, people are not buying albums, and streaming is not really paying. So, I'll do a song here in a second that I wrote that, it gets 15 to 20 million streams every quarter, and I get about $400 off of that. So thank God it was a hit at radio, you know. But that's kind of the economics of that, you know.
I'm curious, you both seem very talented and very good. What's the difference between being a songwriter or being the star up front? Like, did you guys make a decision to be songwriters? How does that kind of play out? It seems like
The difference
I
is
take them to
we have, I think, a better job because instead of having to go get on a tour bus and sing the same 12 songs over and over, we get to walk back and forth to the mailbox. It's definitely not for everyone. People like us don't want to be in the spotlight. Not that we don't want to be, known for our songs or have songs. When I have a song that's famous and y'all sing along, that is literally as gratifying or more gratifying than singing on a stage. It just never was really in my heart to do that, nor his. And what's so cool, y'all, is I get to wake up every day and literally I can write a jazz song or a blues song, country song, bluegrass. Some days I'm writing children's music. every day is different. Whereas artists, our friends that are these big entertainers, they're just like, they're jealous that I'm doing this right now and they have to go, they're going to, Wisconsin tonight to play a casino. It's just, not that, what's that? Okay. So it's really, people come to me a lot and they're like, why aren't you singing these songs? But it was a choice, and we have 3 children who keep us really busy, and we feel like we have the perfect life. We get to play enough music, but we still get to be home.
Yeah, and the other thing too, most songwriters had record deals at some point, and it just didn't work. I had 4 major label deals, and it never flew at radio. And so, some of our biggest songwriters that are amazing talents, it just never, it's just the nature of radio. So, and I wanted to go back to, just real quick, to iterate on your question. One of the things that helps us be called into those situations to help out is that when you kind of I have a specific set of skills as a writer that I bring to the table. Jessi does as well, in a different way. And so, I'm in a situation right now as a producer where there's a certain artist, multi-platinum artist, that has pulled me in to help just for a certain thing that I do. I've written 4 songs because there's a certain style that he wants on this record. So that's another way that works too, is we're all a little bit specific. And so when you've been in town long enough, people go, I need one of those kind of songs like that. And then that's how you get pulled into those situations.
I got a non-economics question. Do you guys write the lyrics first or the chords first?
Great question. We could probably go song by song and tell you how different they can go. Like Drink On It was literally a title I keep like a note, app. So basically, I can hear y'all say something and write it down. I'm constantly, songwriters are like always picking up things. So I'm constantly keep lyrics, or titles, or even just someone say something. So I Drink On It. I'd thrown that idea to so many people, but the way a co-writer heard it, he started that drink on it, think on it, sleep on it. That was like the hook that we needed. But then there's songs, so many times we'll drive into work, just have a melody. You might have a melody for a long time and have no lyrics to go with it. But what I think you'd be most intrigued by is how we literally write a song a day, It's crazy. The song I sang, The Way I Talk, we probably wrote that in an hour and a half and went and had lunch. It's just so easy, it just came out. And then there's songs that will take 2 or 3 co-writes, a lot of editing, rewrites. A lot of times artists get involved and they want to rewrite, make it more for them, which we're always happy to do. But there are writers that are lyricists and there's writers that write melodies, but in Nashville, you have to do it all. We're talking the best of the best, the best of the best songwriters in the world. So our competition is so high that if I was to walk in the door and just say, oh, write lyrics, they'd go, you're out. I'd learn how to play guitar, I'd learn how to produce, I'd learn how to, play instruments, be in the studio, talk to the musicians. It's just a high level of competition and talent, really.
So if you were in town and trying to make it as a songwriter, or what would your advice be based on?
He's asking what advice we should do if you want to be a songwriter. If you just moved to town, just go out and play a lot, meet people.
You kind of have to find your people. I moved here in 1987, and I found this group of people that were kind of like-minded with me. Just, you know, we'd hang out at the same music venues and kind of became friends, and then we started kind of playing music. And some of those people are huge artists now. Some of them run record companies. You know, it's just it's like our class came up together. And you guys just kind of find your people and just show up and be in the middle of it. You know. Don't go away.
Yeah.
You write songs just for people you generally like, or you write for assholes too?
Anybody wants a song?
That asshole can have a hit. You can have a song.
We will do it pretty much anything for a song, yes.
What's your brand on the song?
Tin Man.
The song Tin Man. I just did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote that with Miranda Lambert.
It wasn't, she was asking if it was awkward. I mean, there was definitely interesting days when I was talking to Miranda, talking to Blake, I was hearing both of their sides of the stories, but luckily it has not affected the creative process, and I work with both of them on these records. These 2 records that have come out, so it's all good. Everybody's happy. It's all good.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Taylor wants to know who's the biggest jerk. Taylor wants to know who's the biggest jerk.
Oh, we can never talk about
Nashville? Probably me. You know who you talk to.
it. Yeah.
Can you tell us the story